All right, now here's what I wanted to do is show you a really, really good web page. There's actually a link to it on our Blackboard page already, but just in case you ever find yourself kind of far from that web page, you can always find this link. It's the Owl at Purdue web page, and this is your best friend. I promise you, make friends with this web page and your life will be easier. First thing I wanted to introduce to you, and just type in Owl Purdue, it comes right up. It's a very, very, very popular writing website. And you have a couple of options here in terms of your formatting. What we have here is the APA formatting and style guide. So if you find cites and sources a little bit confusing, and I have found that, I find sometimes it's really packed with information, but sometimes I'm not sure what it's trying to tell me. And this APA formatting, as all these formattings are, can be a little confusing. So here's a second resource. So just click on that. You want to make sure you get into APA formatting. So as long as you click on that, you're in the right spot. And you can see, I just want to take a moment to show you, we have some in-text citation basics and authors. It just talks to you, is similar to the video I just posted about citations. It'll give you some of the basic rules and the general formatting, as well as, I mean, this information is all, of course, available in Cites and Sources. But also we have the basic rules for the reference listing. Often this is where people get confused, so I wanted to bring you to this place and point it out to you because it's a really, really excellent webpage. Now for the first APA assignment we have, you're only going to be looking at journals. And another word for journal is periodical, and that throws people off when you hear periodical and you think, well, I don't have a periodical, I have a journal. They're the same thing. So when you are looking to make a reference for your journal articles, we come right over here to articles in periodicals and click on that. And the best thing about this, and it is such a wonderful, wonderful idea, is right here at the very top, the basic form. This webpage tells you exactly what information to put where, and that's, I think, the biggest flaw with cites and sources. They give lots of examples, but sometimes you're not really clear what they're showing you. What is this information? Where did you get this information? So just to point out to you, when you are writing for a journal, so when you have a journal and you're putting that information into your reference list, here's the format. You put the author's last name, comma, space, and then you give the author's first initial. If they have two, great. If not, just give the first, and then a comma. If you have multiple authors, you can see here we've got 3 authors listed, then this is the format. As they're written in the journal, you write them in here. And there's a little ampersand here. It's that little and that we have. And that is what you use to connect the lists of authors. At the end of that, period, space. Then we have this bracket and year, and all you write here is literally the number, the year number that your article was published. Very, very simple, 2002. Close the bracket, period. Then we have the title of the article, and you can see here it is in normal fonts. The one thing I want to point out to you, and this is the interesting thing about APA, is that in APA only the first letter of your article is going to be capitalized. If you have ever studied MLA formatting, which is a different formatting, you're going to find that really confusing. I am in English and I am in MLA formatting, and I find it hard to remember this. But just remember here in this example, the first letter of the first word of your title is capitalized. The rest of the title is not capitalized. You just give the full title right there, and then period. Then we move on, and you can see here it's indented. That's a really important thing to point out, is that after the first line, every second, third, fourth, however many lines it takes for this first entry, every other line must be indented. And that just means bringing your cursor to right about here underneath the A and hitting tab. Tab is the same as indent, so you want to remember that, and that's something that we tend to really forget. So then what we have here is the title of the periodical or title of the journal. Take a notice here, something that's important is that we are using italics, and that's always key to remember, is that italics always follow in the title of the journal or the title of the periodical. Then we have this apostrophe, and then we have the volume number. All journals will have a volume number, or most. There's a couple who don't, but almost every journal and most that you'll be looking at will have one. One thing to point out here is that there is also italics on this volume number. So the title of the journal and the volume number both have italics, and then we have this bracket, and then we have no more italics, and the issue number is right inside the brackets, so that when you get to see a reference, you'll know immediately. Like down here we can see we have volume number and then we have issue number. When you close the brackets, comma, and then without using a P period, you just say pages. Just give me, page, or say 224 to 227, and then period, and that's the end of that information.